One fateful day, I stumbled upon a folder tucked away in my husband's room, housing completed divorce papers alongside a marriage license. The revelation hit me like a ton of bricks, crystallizing two harsh truths. My husband desired to end our union, and worse yet, he harbored intentions of marrying another woman. Suspicions of his infidelity had lingered, but never had I imagined he'd taken such decisive steps. Coincidentally, amidst this turmoil, my husband's impending business trip emerged as my sole opportunity. My name is Karen, 32 years old, and my family comprises my husband William, whom I wed 6 years ago, and our daughter Sarah, soon to turn 4. Following Sarah's birth, I transitioned to telecommuting, cherishing the semblance of peace in our household. Though our marital intimacy waned, masked by the joy of parenting, I convinced myself of contentment. Yet signs of my husband's preoccupation surfaced through prolonged work hours and frequent golf outings. The bond we once shared seemed to fray, unnoticed amidst the daily routines. A mundane chore led to a startling discovery: a receipt nestled beneath a drawer bearing a staggering sum from a brand unfamiliar to us both. Questions swirled in my mind, tinged with a hopeful assumption of an upcoming birthday surprise. Opting to overlook the receipt's implications, I feigned ignorance, tucking it back in its hiding spot. On my birthday, however, my anticipation was met with disappointment as William failed to return home, his absence punctuated by the absence of a simple gift or celebratory gesture. His late arrival, tainted with the scent of unfamiliar perfume, shattered any lingering hopes. A subtle inquiry about the significance of the day was met with dismissive fatigue, further fueling my suspicions. As I tentatively mentioned my birthday, his response was perfunctory at best, a hollow acknowledgement devoid of the warmth I once knew. My husband's indifferent birthday wish caught me off guard, his lack of enthusiasm palpable. "Is that all?" I inquired, met with a disdainful expression. "You're over 30, aren't you? We're not at an age to celebrate each birthday," he retorted before excusing himself to retire for the night. With his departure, the truth sank in: he had no intention of celebrating, let alone presenting a gift. It became evident that my husband's indifference masked a deeper disengagement, confirming my suspicions of an affair. The receipt, once an enigma, now served as damning evidence of his infidelity. Each absence under the guise of work now revealed itself as rendezvous with another woman. The weight of betrayal mixed with the weight of household responsibilities brought tears to my eyes. Unable to forgive his deceit, I resolved to uncover the truth about his paramours. Under the cloak of night, I seized the opportunity to investigate his smartphone, revealing not one, but 2 mistresses. The discovery left me reeling. How could he betray our vows with not one, but 2 women? Disappointment morphed into anger as I delved deeper into their digital exchanges. The first mistress, Mary, seemed to be a colleague in her early 20s, with my husband assuming a mentorship role at their workplace. I presumed their bond strengthened through prolonged interactions at work, a notion that repulsed me, his inability to draw a line between professional and personal realms. Then came the revelation of the second mistress, Jessica, a woman in her early 40s, older than both my husband and myself. Their initial encounter on a dating app belied a tumultuous past, 2 failed marriages, and 4 children from previous relationships. Learning of Jessica's history elicited a chilling response from my husband, his demeanor growing distant even in their digital exchanges. Despite Jessica's fervent declarations of love, urging him to leave me for her, my husband seemed inclined to sever ties. His heart, it appeared, belonged not to Jessica, but to Mary, a coworker. Conversations with Mary hinted at plans of a future together, leaving Jessica and me as mere obstacles in his pursuit. Reflecting on this now, I can discuss it with a sense of detachment, but the initial shock of discovering his infidelity was overwhelming. The thought of him neglecting our family for the sake of an affair, despite the presence of our daughter Lena, fueled a rage stronger than any sorrow as I contemplated Sarah's future. I resolved to initiate divorce proceedings against him. Initially, I entertained the idea of seeking substantial alimony and child support. However, the notion of simply extracting money and bidding him farewell left a bitter taste in my mouth. His desire to cast us aside and pursue his own happiness after paying us off was intolerable. Contemplating how best to exact retribution, I stumbled upon some papers in his drawer while cleaning his room. To my astonishment, they were filled out divorce and marriage documents. My hands trembled with rage as the reality sank in. He had meticulously prepared for our separation to mirror his affair with his mistress. Fueled by anger, I vowed not to forgive him, determined to exact revenge by any means necessary. With meticulous planning, I set my revenge in motion. Days later, as my husband returned from work, I observed his demeanor closely, sensing an air of anticipation. Casually, he mentioned a forthcoming business trip to Chicago. Seizing the opportunity, I volunteered to prepare his belongings. Though uncertain if his trip was genuine, I saw it as a golden opportunity. Swiftly, I planted a discreet GPS tracker in his travel bag. While his supposed destination was Chicago, the tracker revealed his true destination, Los Angeles, likely to rendezvous with his real love interest, Mary. I reached out to Jessica, my husband's second paramour, arranging a clandestine meeting without his knowledge. Initially wary, she grew intrigued as I revealed my intention to divorce. Eagerly, she agreed to meet. Hours later, face to face with Jessica, I wasted no time. "Nice to meet you. I'm Karen, William's wife," I began, getting straight to the point. "We're getting a divorce." Her disbelief palpable, Jessica questioned my sincerity. Undeterred, I presented the divorce papers he had prepared, now in my possession. Handing her the already filled marriage certificate, her shock was evident. This is," she stammered, clearly taken aback by the revelation. Realizing my husband's intentions, I felt it prudent to inform her in advance. Her response was unexpected. Instead of resentment, she seemed almost relieved. Without hesitation, she accepted the marriage certificate, signaling her readiness to move forward. To my surprise, Jessica even offered voluntary alimony, swiftly drafting an agreement on the spot. Accepting without hesitation, we parted ways, each with our newfound resolution. Without delay, I proceeded to City Hall, submitting the divorce papers seamlessly. With everything in motion, all that remained was to finalize my departure and await my husband's return. That day marked a significant step towards closure. At my parents' house with my daughter by my side, I found myself confronted by my mother's concerned gaze. Despite having briefed them on the situation, her worried inquiry cut through the air. "Karen, are you truly all right?" she asked, her tone laced with maternal concern. "I'm fine, Mom. The divorce papers have been processed and I'll discuss it all with Sarah soon. Right now, I just need some peace," I reassured her, craving a moment of respite. "But what about William?" she pressed, her concern evident. "I'll talk to him when he gets back from his trip tomorrow. I expect he'll reach out then," I replied, mentally preparing for the impending conversation. The following day, as anticipated, my ex-husband returned from his escapade and promptly called me in a state of agitation. "Karen, where are you? What's going on?" he demanded, his voice tinged with panic. "I'm at my parents' house," I replied calmly, sensing the tension building. "Why? What's happened?" "Sarah isn't here, and all her things are gone," he exclaimed, confusion evident in his tone. "That's because Sarah and I won't be returning to that house," I stated firmly, bracing myself for his reaction. Confusion gave way to disbelief as he stumbled over his words, attempting to comprehend the situation. Seizing the moment, I dropped the bombshell about his affair. "So, by the way, you've been having an affair, right?" I interjected, cutting through the tension. "What are you talking about?" he spluttered, his denial falling on deaf ears. "And you want a divorce, correct? That's why you prepared the papers," I continued, my resolve unwavering. "How did you?" he began, his voice trailing off as realization dawned. Confirming my suspicions, I informed him of the filed divorce papers, asserting his responsibilities regarding alimony and child support. "Indeed, you'll be responsible for Lena," I stated firmly, refusing to back down. After a moment of stunned silence, he acquiesced, acknowledging the plan. "Of course, that's the arrangement," he conceded, resigned to the consequences of his actions. "I'm willing to fulfill my obligations," he declared, a hint of relief in his tone. "As long as you fulfill your responsibilities regarding alimony and child support, we won't have any issues," I affirmed, maintaining a pragmatic stance. "Absolutely," he concurred, expressing gratitude for my understanding. Despite his multiple affairs, he seemed intent on a smooth separation, but his attempt to end our relationship cleanly without acknowledging his wrongdoing only added to my frustration. Shouldn't an apology precede such efforts? Frustrated by his lack of remorse, I resolved to confront him with the truth. By the way, I've already sent the marriage registration to your new wife, I revealed, savoring the moment. You know, Jessica, the one who's infatuated with you. She was one of your affairs, wasn't she? His voice trembled with disbelief. Karen, you can't be serious. Tell me this is a joke, he pleaded, desperation evident even over the phone. Suppressing the chuckle, I held my ground. Why would I lie about that? While you were gallivanting in Chicago with Mary, I made sure Jessica received it. I stated matter-of-factly. Wait, Jessica. But I wanted to marry Mary, he protested, confusion lacing his words. Why don't you contact her? I handed the marriage registration to Jessica a few days ago, so she might have already filed it, I suggested calmly. No way, that's impossible. Wait, please, I never intended to marry Jessica. His voice cracked with tears. Karen, please help me. I'd rather not divorce you than marry Jessica. I scoffed at his sudden plea for assistance. What are you saying now? Jessica's like a half-stalker. No matter what I say, she won't leave me alone. She's so persistent, he lamented. That's what happens when you meet people on dating apps. You reap what you sow, I retorted, my tone tinged with bitterness. Okay, I got it. I'll remarry you, Karen. So please help me, he pleaded desperately. What about Mary? I thought she was the one you wanted, I questioned, skepticism coloring my words. I'll break up with Mary. I realize that you're the one for me. I won't look at other women. So please help me, he implored, his desperation palpable. No, I responded firmly. Why should I have to help a piece of trash like you, who cheated while we have a daughter? Do you even understand your position? You were involved with other women, and despite having a family, you think you can get off with just paying alimony and child support. Are you that naive? Aaron, please forgive me, he begged, his voice strained. Don't call me by my name so casually. I will never associate with you again, and I will never forgive you. I won't let Lena meet you, and if you show up in front of us, I won't hold back. Never interfere with me and Lena's life again, I declared firmly, ending the call. Despite his incessant attempts to contact me, I refused to pick up. Later, during our divorce negotiations, it was decided that he would pay a substantial amount of alimony and child support for our daughter. Additionally, I ensured to claim appropriate alimony from his two affairs as well. Let him feel the full consequences of his actions, I thought bitterly, never imagining he would stoop so low as to pursue married women. After divorcing my ex-husband, I heard that Jessica made a bold move by moving into the house we once shared. This blindly in love woman, armed with luggage, wasted no time in making herself at home. Why are you here? He stammered, clearly taken aback by her sudden appearance. Because we're finally husband and wife, aren't we? We can finally live together, she declared confidently. No, you've got it all wrong. I had no intention of marrying you, he protested, but Jessica remained undeterred. There's no need to be shy, sweetie. I received the marriage license from your ex-wife, and I've already submitted it, she replied casually. Okay, but that was Karen's doing, he explained, trying to clarify the situation. Don't worry about the details, okay? As long as I can be with you in any shape or form, I'm happy, Jessica reassured him, much to his dismay. His ordeal didn't end there. Not long after Jessica moved in, Mary, the other woman he was having an affair with, barged into the house. What followed was a tense confrontation between Jessica and Mary, who instantly realized the situation. Who are you? Why are you in his house? Jessica demanded, her voice laced with anger. I'm his wife. I thought he split from his wife, Mary retorted, equally bewildered. He did, to remarry me. I don't know who you are or where you're from, but don't interfere with our love, Jessica shot back, her resolve unshaken. Their argument escalated into a heated exchange, leading Mary to end her relationship with him and file a complaint about his infidelity to his workplace. As a result, he lost his job and now struggles to make ends meet, still paying alimony and child support. Despite occasional messages from him, I refuse to engage. I have no intention of reconciling with him or sympathizing with his plight. He's reaping what he sowed, and I intend to let him suffer the consequences of his actions. Back at my parents' house, I'm living a peaceful life with my daughter, who is about to start elementary school soon. Although explaining the situation to her will be challenging, I'm determined to help her understand. With the support of my parents, I look forward to a bright future filled with